former champion putting in a first appearance and putting it on pole.
Yeah, thanks, man. No, it's been a really cool season. We've been preparing mildly up to the event and keeping sharp with training other people and stuff. And yeah, we managed to grab a kart. And yeah, it's the first time I'm racing the chassis and I'm enjoying it. And yeah, this weekend I'm just wanting to have some fun and obviously try and set some records if I can. But yeah, it's just grateful to be here and grateful to have the opportunity to race, you know, like with this year and how it's gone. And I think I got a good grid, got some people fighting for a title, so maybe I can use that to my advantage tomorrow to get away.
It's always difficult when you come in at the last moment because one doesn't want to run interference on other people's championships. How are you going to play that?
Look, I don't want to jinx anything, but if I can just keep it in front, then it shouldn't bother anybody. But of course, no, my last thing I want to do is get in obstruct anyone. I'm going to race my race and I'll treat everyone like may the best man win. I think that's...
We always say Killarney has got its little tricks and the locals know the lines, they know where, what and how. Is that true?
I think in the smaller classes, yeah. But once you get to the DD2 experience, I mean, when we had grids with Liebenberg and Habich and the real experienced guys, they can put it together when it counts. Maybe not in a quali lap, but in the race, they'll definitely be in there. But yeah, there definitely are lots of new tricks with the new surface and how the curbs are and stuff now, 100%, completely.
Good luck. You made your life a bit difficult for this final in DD2. Talk to me about what plan do you take into tomorrow?
Yeah, look, this whole year it's been up and down, especially the first one that wasn't too great, and a lot of bad luck in Swartkops, but yeah, the chance is still there. Yeah, I'm not giving up. I've been training now to give it my all and not have a what if in this round. So yeah, we're gonna look tomorrow. I think qualifying was super close between us three, and I think there's a good chance so we can get maybe a win and top threes, and yeah, the goal is basically to win, so that's all I'm wanting tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see.
Sebastian Boyd and Robert Whiting, they are the two guys that are fighting for this championship lead. Jason Kutsia has got a very, very outside chance of getting it.
As they go down towards the tram lines, they're going to split the tram lines. We're going to get this race underway. Nice and slowly into the tram lines. Lights off and racing we go. And Yuri Swart gets the whole shot there. It looks like Jason Kutsia goes through with him there. And sitting there in third place is Sebastian Boyd. Boyd's going to just try and keep it nice and tidy now as they work their way through into the 180s. Drivers already looking over their shoulders.
Right, we'll have a look as they go down onto the back straight now, because trust me, Ambellini, when I tell you that Umpi Swart is not going to make life very easy for these guys. It's going to be very, very complicated out there. Jason Kutsia is the man that's in that second position. Here comes Sebastian Boyd that's there in that third position, and right behind him is Robert Whiting. Robert Whiting sits out there in P4, but he needs to get a whole lot closer. It's not going to help the man from KZN in that fourth position. If he sees his main rival disappear down the road, there's a challenge for that second position, and the second position has been lost there. We've got a new man up in that second place. Down the back straight they go now, and it is Sebastian Boyd that has moved up into that second position. Boyd has gone up into second. Kutsia's dropped down into third. And catching them now is Robert Whiting. Robert Whiting sits right there behind Jason Kutsia. Whiting needs to clear Jason Kutsia and go after Sebi Boyd. But Umpi Swart is going to make life uncomfortable for all of them.
Yeah, Yuri Swart pretty quick now as they go in there. And Sebastian Boyd's having a look there. Sebastian Boyd trying to have a look at Yuri Swart. He wants to try and get into the front and try and get away. Yuri Swart's pretty quick there, still posting the quickest times out on circuit there. There's Sebastian Boyd, Jason Kutsia and Robert Whiting up behind him down into Cosmic Corner they go, into Golf Club. Into Golf Club they go, they work their way out of Golf Club to the boxer now. Yuri Swart, previous champion, sits there now in pole sit here. And he takes with him Sebastian Boyd, Jason Kutsia and Robert Whiting. Nick Verheul sits in 5. He's the current Masters SA champion. And he's showing why he does that. He sits in P5 now as they make their way into hole.
Well, we stay with this group of top 4 that's heading into the 180s, and Sebastian Boyd is all over the back of the leader Umpi Swart. Into the left, right hand S as they go. Will Sebi Boyd have a go? No, he looks over his shoulder and stares into the eyes of Jason Kutsia as they head through Golf Club. Here comes Robert Whiting. He's dropped off slightly. The man that sits out there in P5, that's Nicholas Verheul. He has won the DD2 Masters. Connor Hughes sits right there behind him as well. So there is a bit of a dice going on for first, second and third out there in the Masters. And Sebastian Boyd has got his nose up front. And no, he hasn't. It's still Umpi Swart. He had a quick look, yes, and got his nose up there briefly, but it was chopped off there by Umpi Swart, and Umpi says, you stay in there behind me. Right, those Masters are lying 5, 6 and 7 out there on the track, but they first, second and third in class. Here goes Nicholas Verheul. Verheul has been pressurized there by Connor Hughes and Roy Gruer, but back to the leaders we go. Down the back straight, these 4 leaders work their way into Cosmic Corner. And still Sebastian Boyd is all over Umpi Swart. And a Sebi Boyd crawling all over Umpi Swart as they've now broken away there from Jason Kutsia and from Robert Whiting. They work their way down the home straight. There you see Kutsia and Whiting 3 and 4. They're losing ground to the 2 leaders that's working their way out of Holzhoek through the kink. Sebastian Boyd second, pressurizing race leader Umpi Swart.
Right, we've got 6 laps to go now, and Yuri Swart leads out with Sebastian Boyd crowding the back end of that car. He's not letting him go anywhere. He's keeping him brutally honest. And Boyd has to look up on the inside of the door, gets a moving shot in his face. Jason Kutsia is keeping Robert Whiting out of the picture. He also wants points.
First, second and third from Western Province. Then the man from Natal sitting there in 4th place. Robert Whiting all over the back of Kutsia as Kutsia gets it slightly sideways. Well, Robbie Whiting has to win everything to win the championship. I don't know. Look at this. Here they come into fray once again. Whiting has got him. Robert Whiting has gone up into 3rd place. Jason Kutsia will not like that. Jason comes back at him again, but pulls in there behind Whiting as they head into the 180s. Man, what a fight out there. As they come through the 180s now, heading down onto the back straight. If he's going to make a... Sebi Boyd must make a move now, Francois, but he's not...
Right, so Sebastian Boyd sitting behind Yuri Swart, and just ahead of Robert Whiting there. Checkered flag comes out, checkered flag time. Yuri Swart, Sebi Boyd, Robert Whiting, Jason Kutsia. That's the way they went away over the line.
Jason Kutsia is on pole. Sebastian Boyd sits there on his outside. No, it's not Kutsia. That's on pole position. It is Robert Whiting. That's the 74. So first and second in the championship. The man from Natal and the man from Western Province. Still on the front row of the grid. Whiting and Boyd. Row number 1. Lights on, lights off, and away we go. As they squitter down into turn number 1, and it is Robert Whiting that gets the whole shot out of turn number 1. Robert Whiting and Sebastian Boyd. Then behind Sebastian Boyd is Jason Kutsia. That's the top 3 out of the 4 that's busy trying to break away already from the rest of the field as they work their way down that back straight. The man in P4 was Umpi Swart as the group worked through Cosmic and into Golf Club.
Well, Robert Whiting leads out there. Jason Kutsia sits in second there. Sebastian Boyd third, and Yuri Swart up behind him. Nicholas Verheul sits there behind them as they work their way now down up over the line, down towards the holes they go. Whiting holds sway there over Jason Kutsia. Kutsia would like to change that up now. Kutsia sits in second. Whiting goes defensive there up towards that. Kutsia looks up on the inside. They touch ever so slightly, and this upsets the apple cart. And Whiting goes to second, and finds Kutsia going towards the front. So Jason Kutsia leads out.
Jason Kutsia sits out there in P1. Robert Whiting is the man in that second position. So Jason Kutsia, the 77, is there in P1. Robert Whiting is in second. Then it's Sebastian Boyd, followed there by Umpi Swart. Then right with them, we have first and second in the Masters. That's Nicholas Verheil and Roy Gruwer. And not too far behind them in third position, that's Connor Hughes. So that is the fight for first, second and third in the DD2 Masters. And Nicholas Verheil, that leads the Masters class, sits in P5 and is right on the case of the 4 leading DD2s that are working their way down the back straight.
Well, Robert Whiting sitting there behind Jason Kutsia, Yuri Swart and Sebastian Boyd are having a scuffle, and someone's gone off. It looks like Yuri Swart, yes, the 39 of Yuri Swart goes off. Yuri Swart's trying to pull his card back on the circuit, but he's done himself absolute injustice by going off. And we'll have a look at Sebastian Boyd now going back into third in there with Nicholas Verheil. Verheil says to him, come through, buddy. I know you're fighting for a championship. I've got nothing to lose now. So Robert Whiting sits up behind Jason Kutsia now. Sebastian Boyd gets through there. And Sebastian Boyd now going to have to try and close up on the back end of Kutsia now. Nick Verheil sits there in P4, leading the Masters out over Roy Gruwer, and makes his way up towards Cosmic Corner down into Golf Club.
Right as we watch them come down towards us now, right up front, it is still Jason Kutsia, followed there in second position by Robert Whiting, and third across the line is Nicholas Verheil. Right behind him, he was just overtaken before the line there by Sebastian Boyd. Then it's Verheil, then it's Gruwer. So Boyd has gone back into that third position after being behind Nicholas Verheil, who was the leader of the DD2 Masters. He has moved back into that third position as Sebastian Boyd.
Jason Kutsia gets his head down as he goes now. Robert Whiting doesn't realize that Sebastian Boyd is coming at him at an alarming rate now. Into Golf Club they go. They lead out now as Kutsia leads out there with Robert Whiting, and here comes Sebastian Boyd. Then it's Nicholas Verheil, Roy Gruwer, Connor Hughes, and then up behind him it's going to be Jason Kraling. They go into holes, and have a look there now as you have a look at the Masters. And Roy Gruwer right up behind Nicholas Verheil. But into the top 3 we go now. And still it's Jason Kutsia leading out with Robert Whiting, and keep an eye there on Sebastian Boyd. Boyd closing down on the back of Robert Whiting.
Right, Jason Kutsia heading down into Cosmic and Golf Club. He's got Whiting and Sebastian Boyd there with him. As a matter of fact, he's getting away there from Whiting and Boyd is Kutsia. So Kutsia is pulling the plug on them now and draining the water out underneath him as he runs down the home straight into turn number 1. And Robert Whiting has been hassled there by Sebastian Boyd in that third position. Seb is crawling all over him as they work their way into hairpin 1. Out of hairpin 1 now, through hairpin 2. Nothing between the 3 of them as they go through the S's and onto the back straight. Down the back main they go. The heads go down ever so slightly as they work their way through Cosmic and into Golf Club. And the 2 of them are working together, and they're closing the gap there on the leader, Jason Kutsia. Well, off your screen, Nicholas Verheil, Connor Hughes and Roy Gruwer are sitting first, second and third in the Masters category, followed there by Jason Kraling. That is the first, second and third in that category. However, back to the front runners, and there you see Sebastian Boyd has made the move there on Robert Whiting. That is that fight for second and third position. So Sebi Boyd has eventually got his nose through on Whiting as they make their way out of Golf Club and Box Bend.
Right, Sebastian Boyd might have been held up. He looks like he's just turned up the wick now, and he's going to go look for Jason Kutsia. Sebastian Boyd hard charging down into holes now, ahead of Robert Whiting. And he wants to put a bit of daylight between himself and Whiting now as he goes down into the 180s. He's looking for Kutsia. He wants to win this one. He doesn't want to come second. It's not his nature. Sebastian Boyd on the gas now as he leads his way out of the 180 complex. Gets on the button nice and early now and pushes down towards Cosmic Corner. There's Jason Kutsia up ahead of him. Here comes Sebastian Boyd and Robert Whiting up behind him into Golf Club. They work their way out of Golf Club now. Through the Kings they go and make their way past the kiosk. Here comes Sebastian Boyd now with Robert Whiting up behind him. Boyd's pressing hard. He wants to close down on Kutsia, but Kutsia's not hanging around at all. Sebastian Boyd now into the holes, works his way out towards the 180s. And going through now the 180s now is Sebastian Boyd. Robert Whiting now losing a little bit of touch with him now. And still Jason Kutsia leading out. Can Sebi Boyd close down? Well, that's the question to be asked. It's about a 2-second gap. Sebastian nonetheless gets onto the loud thing and then pushes it down towards Cosmic Corner as leader Jason Kutsia goes into Golf Club.
Well, the last lap board is coming out for this man. That's working his way towards the start line. There he starts his final lap. Race leader Jason Kutsia heading into turn 1. Sebastian Boyd second. We go through there with third place man, cart number 74, Robert Whiting. He sits out there in that third place. But Jason Kutsia, with just over a half a lap to go, has done it right in this second of 4 heats of the day. As he gets the head down, he does not stop attacking the racetrack as he works his way through Cosmic and into Golf Club. Well, it's done and dusted this race, this heat, for Jason Kutsia that works his way through Kiosk King, through Pit S's, with Kutsia bringing it home in P1. Sebastian Boyd coming home second. Just behind him, finishing in third, is Robert Whiting. Here comes Nicholas Verheul. He finishes fourth and first overall in the DD2 Masters category. Is Michael Jordan. So the lights are on, the tramway lines are dissected, the lights go off, they plant the gas and away they go as they storm down into turn number 1. Out of turn 1, holes hook they come through the kink and make their way into the 180s. A lovely start off the line there by race leader Umpi Swart. Umpi Swart had an awesome start there. Whiteley had a lovely start. He sits there in that third position. Jason Kutsia is there in second. As a matter of fact, in P4 is Sebastian Boyd, and that's not where he wants to be, just ahead of the Masters leader, Nicholas Verheul.
Alright, so Yuri Swart leading out after going a little bit wayward in the previous heat there now. He's got Jason Kutsia up behind him, Robert Whiting, Sebastian Boyd, Nicholas Verheul, Roy Gruer and Jason Krailing up behind them now as they make their way into the 180s. The 180s they go, it's still Upi Swart leading out there now with Kutsia up behind him. Whiting has got the attentions of Seb Boyd up there in P4. Sebastian Boyd chases the back end of Robert Whiting now as they go down towards Cosmic Corner. Sebastian Boyd's got the speed to stay there with Robert Whiting as they go down into Golf Club. Out of Golf Club they come now through Box Bend and still Yuri Swart leads out with Kutsia there. Robert Whiting, Sebastian Boyd and Nicholas Verheul, the Masters champion, sits there in P5.
Right, we have a look at this group that's working its way out of turn number 1. That is the Fight Dice in that third position with Robert Whiting, and right behind him is Sebastian Boyd. Whiting and Boyd, and then the Masters leader Nicholas Verheul sits in there behind him. There we watch the leader go through. That is Umpi Swart. He ex-champion is Umpi Swart in this class, making his way through Box Bend. He's got Kutsia behind him. Then he has got Robert Whiting, and right behind him is Sebastian Boyd. Will Boyd have a look up on the inside of Robert? No, he stays in there behind him as they exit turn 1.
Well, Sebastian Boyd sitting up here behind Robert Whiting. Boyd goes past Whiting into the 180s. A clinical maneuver there. Keeps it tight as he circulates the second hairpin now. And he goes in search of Jason Kutsia. So Sebastian Boyd on some fine form finds himself in P3 chasing down Kutsia as Umpi Swart still leads out. And we've still got about 11 laps of the 15 left.
Right, so Whiting sits out there in that third position. Sebastian Boyd is there in that fourth position. As a matter of fact, there Boyd is actually ahead of Whiting, sorry, as they work their way down into the 180s. So this is exactly where Sebastian Boyd wants to be. They're closing up on Jason Kutsia, as a matter of fact. So Jason Kutsia has been closed up there by Sebastian Boyd and by Robert Whiting. So it's 2, 3 and 4 in the same view as they work their way out of Golf Club.
Right, your leader now, Yuri Swart leads out over Jason Kutsia, followed by Sebastian Boyd, Robert Whiting, Nicholas Verheul. Up behind him, Roy Gruwer, and then up behind him it's Jason Kreyling, who sits there behind him now. The leaders making their way out of Holster up towards the 180. Still Yuri Swart and Sebastian Boyd is closing down. Handover foot on Jason Kutsia. Kutsia is going to come under threat pretty shortly now as Sebastian Boyd closes down on him. He sits right up behind him. Will he draft him going down towards Cosmic? We'll have to wait and see. He wants to put Kutsia between himself and Whiting, who's losing a little bit of touch there now with Sebastian Boyd as they go down into Golf Club.
But Whiting is beginning to lose a bit of ground there. He sits in that 4th position. Here's Jason Kutsia in that 2nd position, being chased down there by Sebi Boyd. Seb will surely have a look up on the inside. He has a look and makes the move. Stick, yes, in turn number 1. So Kutsia goes down to P3. Boyd goes up into P2. We had a look at him again there in hairpin number 1, but wasn't close enough to make any move there on 2nd place man Sebastian Boyd, as they work their way down the back corner while they are busy fighting with each other. This is releasing race leader Umpi Swart as he works his way out of Golf Club. Right, Umpi Swart might not be in the championship, but is leading this race and he wants a trophy for the day. Umpi Swart, another one of our top nation's I races, also takes part in the TMSA championship, does Umpi Swart. He's got Sebastian Boyd behind him, Jason Kutsia, Robert Whiting, and just off screen in the Masters, it is Nicholas Verheul that leads Roy Gruwer, that leads Jason Kreyling, that leads Connor Hughes. But we go back to the leaders. Just as a matter of interest, we told you what was happening out there in the Masters category as we focus on the front 2 making their way down the backstraight right now, Umpi Swart and Sebastian Boyd.
Umpi and Sebastian are a little way ahead there. Jason Kutsia is also a little bit away ahead of Robert Whiting. Whiting would like to be a little bit higher up, but cannot match the guys for pace right now. As Yuri takes Sebastian Boyd with him, Jason Kutsia tries to close down but is unable to. Robert Whiting trying to keep it steady as he tries to close down on the back of him. The leaders make their way into holes now, and Boyd right up there behind Umpi Swart. You would think that he's trying to close down. We're on our start our final lap pretty shortly. It's our penultimate lap, and he sits up behind Yuri Swart. So Sebastian Boyd right there behind Yuri Swart.
Well, the question is, will Sebastian Boyd make a move? And if he does win, he's either going to make it, I would say, if he can stay where he is and he does decide to go for a move, it'll probably be on the last lap heading into Cosmic and Golf Club. That's what I would think as they start the final lap. So this is it. This is it. Can Umpi Swart hold out for the win? The championship will go to Sebastian Boyd, but it's not about the championship, it's about the fight on the track. Umpi Swart knows he's not the champion, but he wants to win the race and keep the new champion behind him. So down the back lane they go now. Will Sebi Boyd have a go? No, Umpi Swart covers the line very neatly indeed as they work their way into Golf Club. Francois, take them to the line.
Right, coming out of Box Bend now, Yuri Swart says he's got this one in the bag now. He rolls around and he crosses the line, followed by Sebastian Boyd. Jason Kutsia and a little way back is Robert Whiting. He'll be followed by the current Masters champion Nicholas Verheul. He's going to be followed there by
Jason Kutsia is pulling out of formation. The 77 car, Jason Kutsia is pulling out of formation. Has Kutsia got a problem? He has pulled out of formation. He's at the back of the field and he is in trouble. The lights go off and away they go. They squirt it down into turn number 1. Kutsia crosses the start line now. He is stone last and he must surely have some kind of a problem, but no problem up front for Sebastian Boyd as he leads. Sebastian Boyd says, well, Jason, you got an issue, I've got none. as they go down the backbone. Yuri Umpiswart sits in that second position. Then it's Robert Whiting that's there in that third position. He will wrap up second position, Francois, for the SA Championship.
Yeah, brilliant stuff here now. Sebastian Boyd leads out over Yuri Swart. And Robert Whiting, Nick Verheul in there too, with Roy Gruer up behind him. Those are the two masters, Verheul and Gruer, sitting there in 4 and 5 respectively now. As Sebastian Boyd leads up, he makes his way up to the 180s there with Yuri Swart up behind him. Robert Whiting there with Nicholas Verheul. And well, it was a protagonist. Robert Whiting didn't make it. He's got the current Masters champion up behind him. So it's experience versus youth guys that make their way back. And down towards Cosmic Corner they go. Into Cosmic they go now, and Yuri Swart closing back down on the back end there of Sebastian Boyd. Boyd leads out over Yuri Swart. Robert Whiting, Nicholas Verheul, Roy Gruer, Connie Hughes, and Jason Freyland work their way through. Down to holes they go. Into holes, you see them all drift into holes. There's Verheul, there's Gruer, there's Connie Hughes, there's Robert Bechet in picture. Nice to have him there. Looks like it's behind Robert Bechet, Michael Jordan sitting up there behind him. Jordan also one of the normal DD2s.
Now we're going to pan on that fight for about 7th, 8th and 9th regarding Robert Bechet. He's in the Masters. Michael Jordan behind him is in the DD2 class. As the rest of them come through, Andre Steenkamp, Jason Jordan, they all in the Masters category as the leaders work their way past the commentary box. But that is a fight there between Robert Bechet, that sits there in 8th position, and Michael Jordan that sits there in 9th. Just ahead of them, you see Jason Kreiling, and ahead of Jason Kreiling, Connie Hughes. But the focus here is on Bechet and Jordan.
Robert Bechet and Michael Jordan having a nice little scrap there. Michael Bechet, or say Robert Bechet there of Cards and Coffee, is an ardent online writer, and he does a lot of reporting on the local karting scene here. Also partakes, he has a lot of fun out there, maybe not the quickest, but obviously has the most fun. And we see Robert Bechet there, of Michael Jordan there, and he's fighting pretty hard to try and get past, not allow Michael Jordan to get past him now as he goes past the kiosk down towards holes. Into holes they go. There's Roy Gruer, Connie Hughes up behind him, Jason Freyland, there's Robert Bechet, there's Michael Jordan, there's Andre Steenkamp and Jared Jordan up behind him there, coming out of holes down towards the 180s. And Robert Bechet there still keeping Michael Jordan behind him. There's your leader there, Sebastian Boyd in picture now, ahead of Yuri Swart. Yuri Swart sits up there behind him now. And Sebastian Boyd there in the barrel cart, keeping CRG there of Yuri Swart, totally honest, but Yuri Swart's going to come back at him like a bad rash. Nicholas Verheul, who's in 4th place, the master, sitting up in P4. Frankly, that is not too bad at all.
Nicholas Verheul towards us, but behind Verheul is a lovely fight coming on between these two. Roy Gruer, Connie Hughes, and the entire left-hand side pod of the Jason Kreiling card is gone. I'm sure the camera team will pick that up. The 138 card, the entire left-hand side pod is not on that card. That's not stopping him though, and he's just behind that fight that we're looking at now, going through our picture here. The one between Roy Gruer, Connie Hughes, there he comes, just behind those two is Kreiling, and that left-hand side pod of the card is gone. Oh, Connie Hughes getting himself in a bit of a knot there, and he's lost the ground there to Roy Gruer as they exit Golf Club.
Well, we're going to start lap 10 or 15 now. Roy Gruer getting away from Connie Hughes. Connie Hughes pressing hard there now. Jason Kreiling sits up behind him. Right there's Jason, and have a look there. Oh, the whole side pod there of Jason Kreiling's gone. Bye-bye.
That's what I was chatting about earlier on. The whole left-hand side, the side pod of that Kreiling cart has gone, and they are the first 4 in the Masters category. So yeah, the cart was obviously declared safe there by the scrutineers, and they said, okay man, you can go out there and race it like that, no harm done. As here comes Gruer, here comes Hughes, and here comes Kreiling, followed there by Robert Bechet and Michael Jordan, and ailing 77 at the back of the field of Jason Kutsia.
Right, so on screen there, have a look. Connie Hughes up on the inside of Gruer. Connie Hughes Man, he's been on some fine form this year now. Gets up on the inside of Roy Greer. These are the second and third of the Masters. So Connie Hughes having a lot of fun. He sits in that yellow cart there, ahead of Roy Greer with a green helmet on. Up behind him, Jason Crayland pushing pretty hard. This is an extra-new car racer, Jason Crayland. They decided to come back these routes and do some DD2 karting. Connie Hughes there ahead of Roy Greer. Greer sitting in there now. Jason Crayland trying to close down on him. Crayland working hard, working up a sweat there behind these two guys. But these are second and third in the Masters, doing a fantastic job. Real high-speed stuff there into turn one. They make their way towards the 180s.
Connor Hughes, Robert Pachet and Jason Craylang are making their way into the 180s. Through the second hairpin they go now, working their way down onto the back straight. And here comes Roy Greer. Greer wants to run at him on the outside, but Connor Hughes covers the line as they make their way through Cosmic and Golf Club. And there's a bit of argy-bargy, and it is Greer that drops now behind Hughes and Craylang.
Well, Jason Crayling will take this with both hands now as he sits up on the back of Connie Hughes. He's this way, that way, trying to get past him. There's Jason Crayling now, third in the Masters, up behind Connie Hughes. He goes up on his outside, tries to squirt back for the switchback, but Connie Hughes keeps the door firmly shut in his face. And Connie Hughes doing pretty well here. Jason Crayling ahead of him, or behind him I should say. So having a look, here comes your leader now, Sebastian Boyd down towards Holt with Yuri Swart up behind him. Then it's the third place man, that's going to be Robert Whiting. Whiting sits there in third place, still doing pretty well and riding a respectable race. As on screen we still see that tussle there behind Connie Hughes and Jason Crayling in the Masters. Crayling driving the wheels of that car, trying to close down on the back of Hughes.
He's on the absolute roll now, but back with the leaders. Into the lead goes Umpi Swart. Yuri Swart takes the lead away there from Sebastian Boyd. Not that it makes any difference, but it's Umpi Swart ahead of them. There's a back markers. They're going to come around and start the last lap. Yes, one more lap for them to go. And there's a back marker that they're picking up there in turn number one. The back marker in turn one. He's going to have to just hold his line. He gets the blue flags from the marshals. And lovely there by the back marker. No hassles as the leaders go through onto the back main. Swart from Boyd, half a lap to go.
Boy, he sits up behind Yuri Swart. What do you give him to return the favour? Swart goes defensive, but keeps Boyd behind him. I don't think Sebastian Boyd's too concerned about that. Maybe a little bit of pride of not winning the race. Yuri Swart stays ahead of him there. Checkered flag beckons now for the final heat of the day. Yuri Swart will take it from Sebastian Boyd as they cross the line. Yuri Swart punches there. He's happy about winning that one.
And there's your results. Umpi Swart coming home in P1. Yuri Swart, Sebastian Boyd finishing a 10th of a second behind him. Robert Whiting 3.6 seconds behind Boyd. Followed there by Nicholas Verheil, who was the winner of the Masters for today and your overall champion. Jason Crayland, Connor Hughes and Roy Greer, those were your Masters. But Umpi Swart, Sebastian Boyd, Robert Whiting, they're the winners of the DD2.
Nothing like ending a season the way you did today. Talk to me about this weekend and the pressure coming into this weekend.
Yeah, it was obviously going to be a very tight finish. We were going into the final with 8 points difference, I think. And then we just set a goal and then try to get that goal every single race, and then the results came.
Is it more pressure knowing it's your home circuit and then having somebody like Umpi coming to race with you guys?
To a point, yeah, because obviously you're confident in the circuit, but anything can happen, and everyone was very quick today. Like, I think 4 people broke the lap record.
Going into each heat, was it all right, tick 1, tick 2, tick 3, or that you say set mini goals?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously we calculated the points, and then I just had to get like a second or whatever per race, and then that sealed the deal.
Now it's grand finals in Portimao in just over 2 months. Is it something that you say, all right, we'll think about that after the matric exams?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to go back, because I was there in 2017 where we struggled a bit with engine difficulties, but yeah, looking for revenge there.
So at least you going back to a circuit that you know because nobody else has been there.
Yeah.
Am I right to say it's a very physical circuit?
Yeah, it's got extremely long straights. I think in DD2 they get 130 or 140. And it's tight, it's technical, it's got everything in it.
So once you've sorted out your exams and stuff, it's time to physically prepare for what's coming.
Yeah.
So no Christmas holiday.
Look forward to Portugal.
But as a master, it was slightly lonely out there today because you didn't have Jonathan Pires and Eugene Bridge here playing with you, but you tried to mix it with the normal DD2 guys.
Yeah, we've been having fun all weekend racing with the guys and that, and we decided to race the DD2 Masters just to keep the numbers up and have fun with the guys, and some of the other guys here are very fast, so I thought, well, we'll have a nice race. The first race, Connor beat me, drove very well. He actually caught me and then passed me, which was really good, so nice clean racing there. Second race, I was like, no, now we have to start working, and we tuned the kart a bit and we got a bit quicker, and in the last race I just wanted to go as fast as I could.
Obviously now the main thing is this is all done and dusted. Grand finals in Portimao lying ahead. Portimao circuit where we've been to 3 times already. A very physical circuit. It's an extremely physical circuit. Everybody always complain about it, and I remember guys saying it's very physical on the upper body and core. Is it something that you prepared for going to Portimao?
Just doing plenty laps, many laps as I can. That new FK circuit in Benoni is going to be my new home ground of testing. It's also got some fast stuff, some physical stuff. It's a good track to train. And then obviously my home track at Swartkorps, we'll be doing millions of laps there before.
It will be your 3rd visit, or even more. You've done numerous visits. Last year, a little bit of a flap that was down for too long cost you. Is it something that you say, okay, now is the time to do it?
Yeah, I went to Portimao in 2012 and that was my first one. It was a big learning curve. It was mostly getting over the overwhelmment of the size of that event. So I put that under the belt, went the next time, got pole position. Couldn't deal with being in the front, there's so many guys, it's quite intimidating. Then I was ready for that. The 3rd time I went, we had the stupid flap problem, but the same thing, pressure, even if you've raced for many years, that pressure is immense over there. And first thing I'm doing when I get there this year is tightening that thing that it can't come down.
But good luck, and when, Portimao, here we come.
Thank you.